Good morning, students. I hope you can hear me. Um, आवाज आ रही है? हेलो
मैम बहुत लो आ रही है आपकी वॉइस।
बहुत लो आ रही है। हेलो Is it fine now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So today we are going to study about the last topic for Unit 1, which includes your biodiversity and its conservation. But before that, we are going to finish up the last two slides of the yesterday's topic. So let's just go through them. तो यूनिट 1 का बेसिकली जो कंटेंट है वो है एनवायरमेंटल इम्पोर्टेंस, लाइक उसकी क्या क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है, व्हाई डू वी हैव टू स्टडी दैट, देन वी हैव द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, देन अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट ग्रीन केमिस्ट्री और ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजी, and then the major topic that we have been covering in the since the last few lectures. So today we are going to cover it up and study the last two slides. So yesterday we were doing reading about the. Okay, let me just take you to the slides. So yesterday we were covering about the phosphorus cycle, the sulfur cycle. I hope you have understood them. So finishing up the topic, I'll take up the last slide. Bioaccumulation and biomagnification. So the example that I gave you for bioaccumulation and biomagnification was this one particular image. So accumulation simply means accumulating a particular toxic contaminant or a pesticides or something in your body or in any particular body or species, whereas biomagnification is traveling of that particular pesticide in a food chain. This is all about it. So for today's topic, we have ecological values, services, and carrying capacity. And we're going to, we're going to cover about the points that are in this. So basically, ecology, as we have read about its importance, the chemical cycles that are included. So the last part is ecological values. So basically, this particular slide is trying in summary. It's trying to tell you that the ratio of the population versus the resources should always be less than 1, or it should be in balance. Okay, there should be some balance between the number of species that are there in the any ecosystem, whether it's aquatic or terrestrial or grassland, whichever the ecosystem, and its carrying capacity should also be enough to sustain those particular species. This is all about your ecological values and services. So let's just go through the points. So humans are consuming much more resources than what Earth can regenerate in a year. It shows humans may be going beyond the carrying capacity of an ecosystem. Okay. So carrying capacity, what is carrying capacity? It is the maximum population size that an ecosystem can sustainably support without degrading the ecosystem. So this is an important point. Okay. So when we talk about carrying capacity, sustainability का मतलब क्या होता है? Sustainability का मतलब है using resources. I'll write it in the bracket. Using resources in such a way that they are available for upcoming generations too. Okay, so sustainability basically means using resources in such a way that the resources are available even for the upcoming generations. Okay, so whether it's your fossil fuels, whether it's your food resources, or even the animal species जो कि carnivores हैं वो animal species भी consume करते हैं. So there has to be an ecological balance. It should not be like कि जो प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर्स हैं, सेकेंडरी कंज्यूमर्स हैं या टर्शियरी कंज्यूमर्स हैं, उनकी नंबर इतना ज्यादा हो जाए कि प्रोड्यूसर्स या प्लांट्स एग्जिस्ट करना बंद कर दें या दे आर ओवर कंज्यूम. ठीक है, अब इसका एक बहुत बेसिक सा एग्जांपल है ओवर ग्रेजिंग. ठीक है, आई विल ऐड वन एग्जांपल. Overgrazing is one such example. Overgrazing can be seen in areas where the grass is very less, whereas the herd or the population of herbivores or cows or sheep feeding them is very large. तो ऐसे केस में क्या होगा? The carrying capacity of that particular land is very less. ठीक है, वहाँ पे प्रोड्यूसर या ग्रास इतनी ज्यादा नहीं है. बट जो प्राइमरी कंज्यूमर है, जो हर्बीवोर्स है, उनका नंबर इतना ज्यादा है कि if they start feeding on the producer or the plants, there will be a point where the ecological balance is damaged and the primary consumers will get affected, whereas producers will stop existing. Okay. Deforestation is one such example of ecological imbalance. So deaths and long-term damage to an ecosystem occurs when a population exceeds the carrying capacity of its ecosystem. We can understand this by the example of overgrazing. Disease, competition, predator-prey interaction, resource use, and number of populations in an ecosystem all affect carrying capacity. Okay, so disease and competition we can understand कि those different species हैं, but they are feeding on one particular species only. Like let's just say there is a cow and there is a herd of sheep and cows are there, and they are feeding on plants, but the amount of plants that a particular area can produce is very less. So in such cases, competition will be there. Then at one point of time, because of the competition, one such species is going to see extinction. Okay, so this is what carrying capacity and ecological balance means. So in order to have a sustainable ecosystem or sustainable life, there are few factors which should be taken into consideration. So first is economic planning, population control, biodiversity conservation, agricultural management, urban planning, and food security. So when we talk about economic planning, then there should be a critical analysis should be done for the resources available, so that the economy or the finances are invested in a very proper way. Okay, this is what economical balance means. That wherever there is a requirement of investment, then it should be done in that particular area. Okay, so second is population control. This particular parameter is highly affecting the existence of humans on this earth or on this planet. Okay, the amount of natural resources available on this particular planet is decreasing or is not regenerating at an equal pace. So what is happening? There is a difference between the resources available and the population that is there. Okay, so one few examples for this are fossil fuels. Water is one of the examples. जो पोर्टेबल ड्रिंकिंग वाटर है, आई विल ऐड पोर्टेबल वाटर. दैट इज वेरी लेस बिकॉज जहां जहां पे भी पॉपुलेशन डेंसिटी ज्यादा है वहां पे वाटर इश्यूज बहुत ज्यादा है. ठीक है, सो फूड रिसोर्सेज, this is also one such example consequence of high population. Okay, so biodiversity conservation should be there. Why biodiversity conservation is important? Biodiversity conservation is important because all these species, I will add here biodiversity conservation. Why it's important? It's important because all the species present on this planet are the part of food chain. Okay, food chain or food web. So if one species or two species, whatever the number of species, if they start extincting or if they are not conserved, the basic thing that is going to get affected is your food web. So eventually it will come down to a point where the species will go extinct or will not exist. So this is one of the factors why biodiversity conservation should be done. So examples of biodiversity conservation are, they are your sanctuaries, okay, natural parks. These are the basic examples of biodiversity conservation. Okay. Now the next point is agricultural management. So basically, agricultural practices should be in such a way that they should reflect the need of population as well as water availability. एग्रीकल्चरल मैनेजमेंट का मतलब बेसिकली ये है कि जो आप एग्रीकल्चरल ग्रोथ किसी रीजन में कर रहे हो, इट शुड be sufficient for that particular population also, and in addition to that, जो भी plants या crops आप grow कर रहे हो, they should be done keeping in mind the resources, the available resources. So if there is a water scarcity, like we are talking about Rajasthan, we are talking about Indo-Gangetic Plain. So when we talk about Rajasthan, we know that there is the population is, although it's there, its sufficient population is there, but there is water scarcity. So one should manage agriculture in such a way that the plant species which do not require much water should be grown in a larger amount in comparison to what they are grown in your Indo-Gangetic Plain. Economic planning should be done here. So basically, this one particular point, first point, economic planning and agricultural management, they are somewhat interlinked. Okay, so this is what is about your agricultural management. Okay, कि वो स्पीशीज आप ग्रो करिए जो कि वहाँ के एनवायरनमेंट या इकोसिस्टम के अकॉर्डिंग है, ठीक है, वाटर अवेलेबिलिटी, सनलाइट अवेलेबिलिटी, क्लाइमेट के अकॉर्डिंग है. वन शुड नॉट रैंडमली इन्वेस्ट इन go on planting the crops which are not suitable for that particular region. The next thing is urban planning. Urban planning is important, first of all, to reduce the pollution, and urban planning is also important for balanced use of resources. Like if we talk about urban planning, then there should be development of slums should be there, pollution should be controlled, waste management is one of the important part of urban planning, waste management. So when we talk about ecology or ecosystem, because the place where you all live, where I live, is a artificial ecosystem that we have developed or a man has developed. ठीक है, उसको अर्बन प्लानिंग के टर्म्स में आप कह सकते हो कि दिस इज अर्बन प्लानिंग, बट इन इंडिया urban planning is highly required. There are only few cities which are planned before they are developed. Chandigarh is one of the examples. Okay, so urban planning basically requires that the pollution should be controlled, waste management resources should be there, sewage treatment is also a part of urban planning. And why do we have to do all these steps? We have to do all these steps in order to retain the natural ecosystem of any place, because development of these houses, these concrete houses, is a artificial ecosystem or man-made ecosystem. But one should try to maintain a balance between the two ecosystems. So urban planning is required. This last point is food security. Okay, so basically, food security means that we have more population than our food resources. So what should we do? We should maintain the population. The point number, the last point and the population control point is somewhat interconnected. It shows that the amount of population that we hear all the time in newspapers and articles and everywhere that there are n number of people who sleep without food at night. See, so what is the reason? The reason is the amount of resources that are available and the population has an imbalance. So we can read it as one line in a newspaper or in any article, but this is a disbalance in ecosystem, the ecosystem that we live in. So one should look at the carrying capacity, think about measures for population control. It's not about human beings, it's about every other species that is existing in this particular region. Okay, so food security should be maintained. So these are the points that are covered in ecological values, services, and carrying capacity. So there is a relation between these 3 points and the carrying capacity or the ecological value. So this sums up your topic ecosystem. And if you any of you have any problem with the slides, I have edited the slides, so I'll share them with you today. So if you have any problem, then we can study or you can come back to me. Okay, so I'll stop the slide share here and take up the new presentation that I prepared for today. So let's just go. So this is the last topic for your unit 1, that is ecosystem and biodiversity conservation. So in the previous slide, the topic was ecosystem, and for this one particular slide that we are going to talk about is biodiversity and its conservation. So basically, in one line, I would say that today's presentation is all about know your country. Okay, and a little bit about the types of biodiversities that are there. Okay, so let's just go through the contents. So, introduction, types of diversity, genetic diversity, species diversity, ecosystem diversity, values of biodiversity, direct and indirect values. This one particular topic, these two, I would say, they are asked repeatedly because our students last में पूछते हैं कि कौन सा topic important है. So ये दोनों topics पे questions I've seen कि last year आए थे. So these are two important topics which one should know. Okay, and they're easy. There's no problem in learning them. The next is India as a mega diverse nation, biogeographical regions, hotspots of biodiversity, threats to biodiversity. So these are the topics that we are going to cover today. So let's just go to the topic quickly. So when we hear about the term biodiversity, so that if you break the word into two, you split the word. So it basically it's biological diversity, which means variability among living organisms from all sources. So from all sources, what does that mean? From all sources, it means terrestrial, marine, or other aquatic systems, and the ecological complexes includes diversity within species, between species, and of ecosystems. ठीक है. So basically biological diversity का मतलब ये है कि जितनी जो species हैं, ठीक है, एक तो ये है कि different types of species are present in any ecosystem. Let's just take a forest ecosystem. ठीक है, tiger, wolf, fox, these are different species. Okay, but there might be a situation where there are different types of fox in that particular ecosystem. So वो genetic biodiversity है. ठीक है, अब दूसरा एग्जाम्पल है इकोलॉजिकल बायोडाइवर्सिटी या इकोसिस्टम बायोडाइवर्सिटी का. इकोसिस्टम बायोडाइवर्सिटी मतलब कि एक फॉरेस्ट में फॉक्स है और दूसरा आपका स्नो रीजन में फॉक्स है या फिर माउंटेन रीजन में फॉक्स है. तो दीज आर सम ऑफ द एग्जांपल्स, सो विल गो थ्रू देम and we'll understand it better. So when we talk about biodiversity, there are three components. Its first one is their species biodiversity, second is genetic biodiversity, and the third one is ecosystem biodiversity. So when we talk about species biodiversity, it's defined as a number and abundance of different species that occupy a location. In order to accurately check species diversity, both types and number of species should be measured. An example of species biodiversity would be the number and the abundance of different types of mammals in a forest. Okay. सो स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी का, जैसे कि मैंने आपको अभी बताया था, स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी का मतलब हो गया कि अगर एक कोई फॉरेस्ट है उसमें कितने टाइप के फ्लोरा और फौना. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट एनिमल्स, वी हैव रेड अबाउट इट. फ्लोरा comes, flower word comes from flora, so flora means plants and fauna is animals. So when I say about talk about fauna, different fauna, it means different types of species of animals in that particular area. So in order to check a species biodiversity of a particular area, तो उनका नंबर और उनका टाइप दोनों ही मेजर करना इम्पोर्टेंट है. ठीक है, लाइक इफ यू आर एन इकोलॉजिकल साइंटिस्ट एंड यू आर प्लेस्ड इन अ फॉरेस्ट, देन if you are asked to calculate the number of species diversity, you will find out the different types and their number, क्योंकि हम इकोलॉजिकल पिरामिड ऑफ नंबर में करते हैं कि कितनी स्पीशीज हो गई और उनका कितना नंबर है. दैट इज व्हाट इज स्पीशीज डाइवर्सिटी. सो वन सच एग्जांपल इज your sparrows of India. So this is a Spanish sparrow. ठीक है, sin sparrow, house sparrow, Eurasian tree sparrow. अच्छा, इन सब के नाम आप देखो. ठीक है, all are called all their names start with pacer. Pacer domesticus, pacer monotonous, pacer pyrhontus. ठीक है, तो ये सारे pacer. What is pacer? Pacer is the genus. Okay, बायोलॉजी के स्टूडेंट्स अगर किसी ने पढ़ा होगा तो दे नो इट. पेसर इज द जीनस एंड द लास्ट नेम जैसे कि डोमेस्टिकस है, इट्स द स्पीशीज नेम. ठीक है, तो ये डिफरेंट स्पीशीज ऑफ स्पैरोज हैं, ये स्पीशीज में डाइवर्सिटी है. अब आती है बात जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी की कि जेनेटिक डाइवर्सिटी का मतलब क्या होता है. ठीक है ये सारी स्पैरोज बट दे आर डिफरेंट स्पीशीज. ओके, इनका जो जेनेटिक मेकअप है वो बहुत डिफरेंट होगा, इसीलिए दे लुक डिफरेंट एंड दे अकर इन अ डिफरेंट एनवायरनमेंट आल्सो. सो दिस इज अबाउट योर species of a sparrow. Okay, now let's go to genetic diversity. So when we talk about genetic diversity means the species within a difference in species or difference in genetic material within a species. So the greatest example of a genetic diversity is human beings. Okay, so all the humans that are there on this planet are called Homo sapiens at this particular time. Okay, before that, before Homo sapiens, there were various number of species of human beings. But jaise jaise evolution hua, there has reached us. We have all reached through evolution over a period of time. We have all reached to a stage where the genetic material is more or less same. So we are of the same species, which is your Homo sapiens. Okay, so now these Homo sapiens have got a lot of diversity at the genetic level. So what is the example of that? Color of human hair. Okay, is one such example of genetic diversity. So there is a high level of diversity among species, but there is even higher level of diversity among the genetic material of individuals of specific species. So when we talk about humans have a very high level of genetic diversity. So color of skin, color of hair. Another example is color of eyes. जो organs हैं, kidney है, heart है, lungs हैं, they are all same. Okay, but there are few features which make us different from one another, and that is because of the genetic difference. Okay, so example of genetic diversity, you can write it as human beings, and these are few examples. See, so basically color of human hair, eyes, so green, gray, hazel. You can just have a look at the image. So this is what it's meant by genetic diversity. Now let's go to the next type of diversity, which is your ecosystem diversity. So when we talk about ecosystem diversity, it means difference in species or any particular organism in a different ecosystem. It can be terrestrial or aquatic. The example of ecological diversity on a global scale would be the variation in ecosystems such as deserts, forests, grasslands, wetlands, and oceans. ecological diversity is the largest scale of biodiversity, which include both genetic and species diversity. ठीक है, तो ecological diversity is the one which is having all both of the previous ones of diversity. So one such example is your polar bear and your brown bear. So this particular brown bear is found in your terrestrial region. ठीक है, वो एक different ecosystem है. But when we talk about this snow bear or polar bear, it is white in color. These both have same genus. Okay, can you see this? They both have same genus. Okay, but they are different species because they live in different ecosystem. They have different look and different feeding habits also. जहाँ पे जो resources available है उसके according they have different feeding habits. ठीक है, so this is the example of your ecosystem diversity. Okay, you can give an example of ecosystem diversity ki one bear is in terrestrial region whereas the other one is in your snow areas or mountain ecosystem. Okay. So this was about your types of biodiversity. So species we have covered, it's your house sparrow. Okay, then it's human beings, and the example, the last one is your polar bear. So ecosystem में किसी भी ecosystem में biodiversity इस तरीके से 3 forms में divide हो जाती है. ठीक है. So the next topic we are going to cover is few questions that are there. What is the significance of genetic biodiversity or genetic diversity? How is human activity affecting genetic diversity? And why prevent the loss of genetic diversity? So ये 3 questions mind में आते हैं कि what is the reason to preserve it? So basically the answer for the first one is that each individual possesses genes which are the source of its unique features. Okay, or which are the source of unique information. Okay, as an ecologist, if you think of any particular species, then it's a gene, like in computer science or everywhere you have data. So for any biologist or ecologist, the genetic diversity of species is some kind of data. So every data is important, and when we talk about species, then this particular data is critically important. Okay. So the next question is why it's significant. So basically जितनी ज्यादा किसी इकोसिस्टम में डाइवर्सिटी होगी उतना ही ज्यादा इकोसिस्टम स्टेबल होगा. ठीक है, we'll study about it more in the next slide. Now how human activities are affecting genetic diversity, ये एक और question है. So basically artificial selection, इसका आंसर है artificial. I would like to write the answer for this. It's your artificial selection. Okay, so artificial selection, basically degradation of habitat. Degradation of habitat is affecting the genetic diversity. So why we have to prevent the loss? Let's just go to the next slide. So basically biodiversity को preserve करने का सबसे बड़ा reason है steady state maintain करना. In scientific terms. Okay, steady state maintain करना इसलिए important है. Steady state means to maintain an equilibrium. So the basic reason is let's imagine there is only one particular type of birds in a particular area. Okay, or in a particular ecosystem. Now let's just say वहाँ पे कोई इकोलॉजिकल इम्बैलेंस आ जाता है, फूड रिसोर्सेज की कमी हो जाती है या फिर टेम्परेचर बहुत इंक्रीज हो जाता है. ठीक है, एक इकोसिस्टम में एक फॉरेस्ट है, उसमें एक ही टाइप की बर्ड्स रहती है. ठीक है, अब क्या है, लेट्स जस्ट से टेम्परेचर हैज इंक्रीज, वाटर रिसोर्सेज हैव डिक्रीज्ड. तो क्या होगा, क्योंकि सारी स्पीशीज एक ही टाइप की हैं, सो व्हाट विल हैपन, देयर विल बी अ पॉइंट वेयर ऑल द बर्ड्स वुड डाई. बट अगर वहां पे बायोडाइवर्सिटी है, अगर देर आर डिफरेंट types or different species of birds available. So there will be some species जो कि उस particular temperature change को या ecological balance को handle कर लेंगे, ठीक है. So this way the ecological imbalance would not be drastic, ठीक है. So यही reason होता है कि different species का available होना या biodiversity होना important है in order to maintain a steady state. Okay, so biodiversity of an area has a large impact on the ecosystem stability of that area. Areas with larger diversity have a greater possibility to return to a steady state from disturbance. ठीक है, अगर कोई species end हो जाती है तो there are various other species available for food web. This is all about existence and food. So if there are different species available, then there are better chances for other species to survive and ecosystem to return back to its stable state. This is the importance. So if a question comes कि biodiversity और economic ecosystem stability का क्या relation है, so the higher the diversity, the more are the chances of ecosystem stability or possibility of returning back to its original state. अगर किसी को इस स्टूडेंट को इस पॉइंट में डाउट है तो यू कैन जस्ट स्टॉप मी एंड टेल मी कि यहाँ पे हमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा, ठीक है. सो दिस इज अबाउट योर biodiversity and ecosystem stability. Okay, the next topic is your values of biodiversity. So this is one simple topic. So basically value means important, you can importance. Okay, so when we talk about values of biodiversity, there are two types of values. First is direct value and second is indirect value. So let's just go through them. So direct values के अंदर में आता है consumptive और productive, whereas indirect values के अंदर में है social, cultural, ethical, aesthetic, option values and environment service values. ठीक है. So direct का मतलब इसका direct impact है humans पे, ठीक है. Indirect का मतलब है कि फूड या फिर लाइफस्टाइल पे अफेक्ट नहीं है, बट सोशल और कल्चरल और एथिकल इफेक्ट है. So let's go into depth and understand what it means. So when we talk about direct values in consumptive terms means, okay, direct dependency on grains, vegetables, fruits which are obtained from plant resources, meat, fish, egg, milk products, etc. ठीक है. So ये direct है, like we are taking our diet from the food sources or plant sources and we are consuming them. So इसके direct के अंदर में दो आते हैं. First is your consumptive and the second one is your productive value. So consumptive मतलब direct consumption हो रहा है. These values are of biodiversity. The products are harvested and consumed directly. ठीक है. These goods come locally and do not figure in. These are two important factors, students. I am underlining them. Consumptive values का मतलब कि आपने locally produce किया और उसे consume कर लिया, ठीक है. तो इसकी international market में कोई as such larger value नहीं है और इसकी कोई selling value नहीं है, ठीक है. So what are the examples? जैसे कि foods हैं, different types of crops हैं, ठीक है. So basically wheat, maize and rice constitute 2/3 of the food requirement of the world. Fuels. Forests provide wood which is used as fuel. So wheat, coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. These are directly consumed by humans. So ये direct values हैं. Drugs, pharmaceuticals, जो Ayurveda way of medicine है, Ayurveda या फिर allopathic medicine है, उसमें भी कुछ medicines plant resources से आती हैं, जैसे कि quinine है. Quinine is used in malaria. Penicillin, we all know, it's antibiotic. And vinblastine is also an example. It's taken from plant source and it's anti-cancer in nature. So basically direct consumptive value का मतलब जो प्रोड्यूस किया या फिर जो प्लांट्स के पास अवेलेबल है उससे अपनी डेली रिक्वायरमेंट्स को सफाइस करना, ठीक है. whether it's fuel, food, crops, drugs, etc. But when we talk about productive value means इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशन ऑफ प्लांट एंड एनिमल रिसोर्सेज, जैसे कि टेक्सटाइल है, लेदर है, सिल्क है, पेपर एक्सेट्रा. सो दीज आर productive